Today on In the Wood Yard, it's another woodchucking day. We got deliveries. So today is another day with deliveries. I've got one right now, and I'm supposed to have one at the end of the day. The guy's gonna call me back later to let me know when he's gonna be home. So it's either gonna be today or tomorrow that I do the delivery. Now, being that it's end of September now, I average pretty much 2 orders a day is what it's been averaging. Some days I'll do 3, some days I'll do 1, some days I'll do 2, but it's about 2 a day. And that's a nice comfortable pace because it just kind of keeps coming. Cash flow in any business is the lifeblood. If there's nothing coming in, it's awfully hard to make any investments for the future, whether that's buying logs or buying better equipment or faster equipment, replacing broken stuff, fixing things. So to have the constant cash flow is nice. It helps pay the bills, so to speak. And a lot of the orders I've been doing have not been the people for heating. These are people that are stocking up for the upcoming, fall and winter season. A lot of the people I sell to get 2 or 3 face cords, so they're getting 2/3 of a cord or a full cord in an annual basis. Most of the people I sell to order 1 face cord or 1/3 of a cord at a time. That's what they do. It's kind of a pain that I have to, load it, go deliver it, and then 3 months later load it, go deliver it. It'd be nice to do it all at once. But the people I sell to do not live in the country where they've got big wide open spaces where they can just dump lots of wood and they're using a wood boiler to heat their house with. They're doing this just for entertainment. It's drinking what I like to call it. Most of them are burning either in a fire pit or a fireplace in their house. So the average, I have figured it out many times over the years, the average customer of mine buys anywhere from 2.5 to 3 face cords. So that would be 2.5 thirds, or what would that be? How many 6 would that be? 5, 6. 5, 6 is kind of like an average amount when I divide it all out. Because I took all the people that order from a whole year and I count all the singles, all the doubles, all the triples, as in 3 face cords or a full cord, and then all the people that order multiple full cords. You average it all out, it comes out to be about a full cord, a little less, so right in there. Some years it's a little bit less, some years it's right on 3. I had one year I did it was like 2.7, one year it was 2.5, which is the 5, 6. Another year it was like 2.9, one year it was 3 exactly. One year it was like 3.05 or something like that. Because if you have 100 customers and you get 1/3 of them that buy 1/3 of a cord, 1/3 of them buy 2/3 of a cord, and then less than 1/3 of them buy a full cord, but then you get a certain amount of people that are buying 2 full cords, it'll average out to about that amount. Now again, these are not heating people for the most part. These are people that are buying wood for entertainment, for relaxation. That is where my market is, because I live in a bigger area as far as population. There's probably 250,000 people within 10 miles of here. We've got many little cities kind of all hooked together, ranging from 70,000 here in Appleton, 75 or something like that, down to maybe some of the outlying towns have 3,000-4,000 people. But then there's a lot of them that are connected together that have 20,000-30,000 where you can't tell when you're in one town out the others, kind of all flows together. And now my brother, Ken, on the other end of the spectrum, lives in a town of about 100 people. I think it's unincorporated actually. 95% of the people he sells to are for heating purposes. So his average customer will get 3 full cords, about 9 face cords, to 10 to 12, somewhere in there. He has a lot of people that they go by face cords in northern Wisconsin exclusively. Just when they say a cord, they mean face cord. So his average customer is buying 10 to 12 face cords. So it would be about 4 full cords, 3 to 4. Right, and that's his average customer. He delivers more than half of the wood, but a bunch of the wood that he has for sale, his customers come and they just take it as they need it, and then they pay him. He tells them, take this section, that's your section. He actually has guys that he will cut wood for every year that buy, say, 20 face cords, which would be about 7 full cords, and they would have it in a stack, in a section between pallets. That he would stack it in rows, and that would be that guy's wood, and he would mark it with a big X, whatever, or he would write Joe on it, whatever, and Joe would come pick up his wood. And they just come as they can, and they might make 4, 5, 6 trips with trailers, and they haul it away. He does give them a discount if they pick it up themselves, It's not really a discount, it's just kind of his base price. And then if he has to delivery, adds on $10 if it's kind of locally right in his neighborhood, within 3 or 4 miles. If he's got to go 10 miles, 15 miles, the price goes up again. If he's got to go 20, 30 miles, the price goes up again. And if they want it stacked, the price goes up. So it's kind of like an add-on thing. Now people have asked me, how do you price your wood? I price it more towards the top of the market as far as in my area. Now in your area, you might only have people that are willing to pay $50, $60 for a third of a cord or a face cord. That might be the market because there's probably lots of trees and there's very few people. The price is going to be low. Now if you're in a big city, like say Chicago, lots of people, no trees, your price is going to probably be somewhere in the $200 to $250 range for a third of a cord because they have to truck it in, obviously. If you're selling smaller quantities, as in bundles, or if you're selling squares that are 2 foot by 2 foot, the price will go up. The smaller the quantity, generally, the more you pay. That's just generally how it works. Now, my basic price is $120 for pretty much all the wood, except for hickory and cherry, I charge $130. And that is delivered within 10 miles. If I got to go more than 10 miles, the price goes up $20. And that's a delivery fee. My stacking fee is $30 for a third of a cord. And that's if I can stack it right off the trailer. If I have to carry it, the price goes up depending on the distance. If I have to go 7-8 steps, I might charge an extra $10. If I have to go around the back of a garage with a wheelbarrow, the price will double for stacking because it's going to take me more time. Now I can stack a third of a cord or a face cord in 15 minutes pretty easily. 10 minutes if it's good access. If I could just grab it, set it, grab it, set it. Yesterday's video, I think you guys saw it. You should have. I went to Parham and I delivered there. We delivered 2 face cords, so it was 2/3 of a cord. The trailer was full, and we do stack it in his racks. But the owner, Andy, he helps out, and sometimes there's employees there that will grab wood too. I take my wheelbarrow and my cart, and then they got one of those canvas pouches. They can carry like an armful at a time, and we fill it underneath their stove, their pizza oven. We fill that area up, and that holds probably 1/6 of a cord if I was to guess. Maybe a little more than that, depending on how we stack it in there. And that's right under the actual oven, which works out really well because that way they can just take it and put it in there. And they try to keep that full all the time. And then in the back of the building, which is, I don't know, it's probably 50, 60 feet, we have to go to the back. We wheelbarrow it and cart it, and then we stack it into his racks. He's got one rack that's 8 feet long, 4 feet high, and we usually have that heaped. We usually probably put, I would say, half of a full cord into that rack alone because we really put a lot of wood in it. And then he's got a smaller 4x4 rack that we usually fill up too. And then the rest goes under the oven. And I do charge for the delivery, and I do charge for the stacking. But I don't charge him as much as I would if it was someone that was new for the first time, with all the time that I have to spend there, because I spend probably a half an hour there. The reason I give him a good rate is every 2 weeks he buys 2/3 of a cord. Every 2 weeks. Sometimes it's 3 weeks, but it's usually 2 weeks or so that he goes through that much wood. And because he's a regular customer and he spends somewhere around $5,000 a year with me, I give him a pretty good deal on the wood. So it's $120 for each third of a cord, so that's $240. And then the delivery, I charge him $25 because it's about 18, 19 miles, something like that. Maybe it's 20, it's right around there. So I charge him $25 for that. So that puts it at $265, and then I charge him an extra $20 for the stacking that I do and for the time that I'm there. But again, like I said, I'm not doing all of it. I'm doing half, maybe less, maybe a third. So I do charge him a little bit less. And because he's such a good customer, he does a lot of things. I took him some salmon and some halibut yesterday and gave it to him because I was telling him about my Alaska trip, and he really likes that kind of stuff because he is a chef, and he was telling me how halibut is so awesome and how he's made it in the past. So I took him some, and then when I was leaving, he says, "Hey, I got something for you, something new." So he pulled out a bottle of bourbon, a brand new brand I've never heard of, and he said it's supposed to be just like Buffalo Trace but cheaper. So he gave me a bottle of booze, and he does that all the time. He'll give me stuff, so try to take him some treats too. All right, it's time to chuck some wood. This delivery is for 1/3 of a cord of oak. Here's the oak, here's the trailer. We're gonna put it in right now. There it is, third of a quart. Actually, it's a little more than a third of a quart. I put a little bit more in probably than I should have, but I'd rather over deliver than under deliver. If you short your customers, you'll not be invited back. It's just the way it is. And Firewood people, for the most part, most people know what they're getting, because a lot of the people you sell to are putting it in a stack in a rack that they've got built, and they kind of know what's there. And I've delivered to quite a few people over the years that for the first time, and I've gotten there and dumped the load out, or if we stacked it in the rack, and they're always surprised. They're like, wow, this is way more than the last guy brought me. The last guy didn't even fill the rack. It was not to the top. Yours is heaping. So I said, yeah, I don't ever want to short anybody. If you order a phase cord or third of a cord, you're gonna get that and then some. I always throw a few extra armfuls in because I don't want to short anybody. And because I don't stack and pre-measure the wood, it's just in a big bin here, and I know what my trailer and my truck hold. I don't have to stack, so it saves me a ton of time. I can just throw it in, eyeball it, and then throw some extra in. That way the customer's happy, I'm happy, everybody's happy. Down the road we go. We're gonna go do a big dump.